From the heart of Broadway, here in historic downtown Cape Girardeau, where it's October, and you know what that means. The air outside is slightly chillier. The seasonal drinks are out at Starbucks, along with you get a free 12-pack of flies with every drink at Starbucks. And it's time for Mr. 100 and the 5-Star Man. So tonight was going to be I Want to Believe, but we pushed it back a week for reasons. And instead, because we haven't done this is the first 5-star we've done in a year and a half?
Something like that.
I'm glad to be back with Asa, and we have some special guests here tonight with us, also Allie. But I'm Shannon Young. Hold on, we'll get to it. We'll get to it. You write it down, and I'll say it live. To heck with it. My name is Shannon Young. I'm going to be your host tonight, Mr. 100. You may know me from my other television appearances on Law & Order SVU.
Dun, dun.
Down at the end of the table is the 5-scare man, Asa Gray.
Asa Grave, because that's spookier.
Can I ask you a question?
No.
Why?
I said no.
Why did you go with 5-scare man and not 5-scar man?
Because Scar's not scary. Like, it's not as scary. It felt like that might be like the actual name. And let's be honest, I'm not famous enough for people to
but what if
think that it's.
But what if your scars are internal?
I almost just did it as I almost just changed it to the 5-star man, Asa Gray, but scary. Because I've seen, when I decided against it, then I saw like a bunch of people actually do that, and I was like, okay, I'm kind of glad I didn't go that route.
And then truly spooky guest tonight. Welcome back to Mr. 100 5-star, because she may have been on the last one. I honestly don't remember at this point. Allie Abear.
Hi.
Who
I don't think she was.
I don't think she was either. But I also don't remember what we talked about. I don't remember the last time we did this.
No, it's been a while.
It's been at least a couple weeks. It's been a month probably. Allie is right in the middle of Inktober.
Yes.
Where she's doing one ghost a day, or in cases like today, 2 ghosts, because
I missed
she
yesterday.
sometimes forgets to do them.
No, it's because sometimes I'm busy, and I had to work, and then I had to cook dinner.
What did you do from the hour to the hour and a half we watched Child's Play?
I watched Child's Play.
So did Lindsay, but Lindsay also drew.
No, she didn't.
I remembered what we talked about.
She made a post today that even said, like, I was...
Ace is talking.
I'm going to let Allie finish. I just remembered what we talked about. But don't worry, Allie. It's going to upset Shannon.
Oh, no. What is it?
The dead don't die.
Oh, yeah.
And joining us tonight here on Terrifying Tanner Tuesday is the Big T, Tanner Calvert. I can't say that anymore because Dalton has the Big D and his works better because it's the irony.
Yeah.
That Big D would not have a Big D.
So I'm going to put this out there just because I wasn't on that show.
I guess I'm talking about his penis.
I slightly enjoyed The Dead Don't Die.
I did too.
Then you should have been here 20 days ago
it.
when we recorded it.
Like, I really enjoyed it too. No spoilers in case people are listening to that. But I really, as I told Asa and Allie watched it with us. Allie, you enjoyed it too, didn't you?
I'm sorry, I blinked out for a second.
Wow! Wow!
What are we talking about?
Did you fall asleep at your job?
Yeah.
Did you enjoy The Dead Don't Die?
Oh, I mean, it was good except for
No spoilers.
the parts that I didn't like.
The part that I complained about.
Yeah.
I liked the thing except for the things that I didn't like.
How are you not paying attention? What were you thinking about?
My horror pitch.
Look what you've done to her. You've broken her. You've broken her, sir. Anyway.
Champion.
The Dead Don't Die was good. Other than that part. I liked it otherwise. I thought it was a fun movie. And the Zelda character.
Yeah.
She was like, okay, left field, and it went nowhere. Anyway, it's a whole thing.
That was 20 days ago.
It was. That's old news. Let's talk about a good movie we did watch last night. That was the Child's Play remake. Have you seen it?
No.
Legitimately good. I highly recommend it. I went into it really worried because Child's Play is one of my all-time favorite horror films. Not because it's great. Mm-hmm. It's good, but it's iconic.
It's that perfect level of 80s horror camp.
Yes, it is 80s.
But it's but there are also genuinely if you can disconnect the whole one solid punt and your problem is dealt with. As long as you can separate that, there are some
Because Chucky
unsettling moments.
He works so much better as kind of the same way in this movie, where he's doing things, but no one believes that he's doing things because he's a doll,
right?
As opposed to a straight up fight.
Right.
Once you know what Chucky is and you fight him,
and everybody's like trying to prepare and
that's silly. But this movie did a really good job of it. It did not have Brad Dourif, which I hated because I love him as Chucky. But Mark Hamill did such a good job. Obviously, it's Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
The way he turns his voice from like really kind of soft and sensitive to half Joker towards the end when he goes crazy, really good. Like I highly recommend Child's Play. We just talked about bad horror remakes the other day. On Thursday, actually. And we mentioned that Friday the 13th was like the only good one out of the entire group. Well, I now put Child's Play above that for sure.
And I disagree. I did not like, because I've always been a Jason fan. Like, I love Jason. He's my guy. I did not super love.
You didn't like it?
The remake. I liked the Nightmare on Elm Street remake better.
Oh.
I can't get behind that.
The only reason that I didn't actually like comment on that post of like you're all wrong and this is why is because I always kind of loved the ambiguity of the 80s until it eventually hit that like there at a certain point didn't they finally like flat out say it?
What?
Whether or not he actually did
raped.
the things he was accused of when they
you're talking about Freddy Krueger?
Yeah.
It was always just assumed that he did it. They never actually.
Yeah, but
until later in the series where they did have like a flashback where it showed him like stroking the pictures, and then he had the kids in the basement or in the boiler room.
Yeah,
because like the remake like kind of played with did he or didn't he? But then they like went no, he was a monster
because
they didn't play with the fact that did he kill him. They played with the fact that did he rape them.
Yeah.
I didn't like that.
Which like
I did because it almost made him sympathetic to a point. And I feel like it would have
not
been...
the rape part.
No, that he could have not done it, and that the townspeople assumed he did because he was weird. And that's a better plot for revenge to me, is that you unjustly killed me, now I'm going to make you fuckers pay. Oh,
but they did...
Fuck it.
But they did but they took that and immediately... Then, like, it felt like very, very quickly just... Nope, he totally did it, and there's no question about it. And I feel like if they would have not done that, it would have been way better.
I agree.
But that was... Yeah. But overall, I like that better. Still not the best Nightmare on Elm Street film. The best Nightmare on Elm Street movie... Fight Me is the one. New Nightmare.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at you. I like it.
One and New Nightmare are legitimately the only two that I really love. The other ones are okay. They're fun in a campy way.
I did not like Dream Warriors.
They eventually like go down, especially like the 80s, the main series. They go into
so
full
hard.
comedy.
Yeah.
Like and where he's in the chef South.
Well, like even Friday the 13th, once you got past like 3 and like it went downhill.
And also,
it went downhill.
And
Come
also,
on.
if you look at Jason X as not a horror movie,
it's a parody.
It's great. If you just watch it as a parody, which whether or not that was their intention, I can't say. I wasn't on the set. But if I absorb it like a parody, it's the headcanon thing. That's why I love Dark Knight Rises.
There's a documentary I need to send you that I think you'd enjoy
for Jason X.
Jason and period.
Okay.
I cannot look at it as not a parody when you like the guy named the characters in the movie after like his D&D characters. True story. Did you know that?
Yeah.
The guy that like the characters in the film are named after the people in his D&D campaign.
Oh no! Like so, the director of that film was like super. Like he tried to put off that he was nerdy, but he was also that really douchebag in a suit, and but like okay, not a suit. I don't know how to describe it. He comes off as a douche, trying to be a nerd
with nerdy interests.
Yes,
but he kills a girl with another girl in a sleeping bag.
That's still there.
On the show.
We talked about it.
That's one of the most iconic moments in Friday the 13th history.
And I still say the part where he freezes the girl's face and smashes it. That's one of my favorite kills.
No, it's really cool. It's just I knew she was gonna die, but I didn't know how. And like I thought maybe she's gonna be a main character. And I remember when I saw that movie the first time, I was like, oh, she's one of the prettiest girls I've ever seen in my life. Oh nope, okay, she's gone. She's gone already. Even Freddy vs. Jason is a bad film.
Yeah, I didn't like that. I couldn't get on board with that one.
It had moments.
I liked it, but
the whole being afraid of water or fire, I hated.
Well, see, I kind of like that because if you notice, they tint the room to.
Oh no, the way they did it, the way they portrayed it was
done.
amazing. But just adding that into the story, for God's sakes, how many times does Jason come out of the lake to kill somebody?
Yeah.
So I mean, Jason.
Yeah, but now he's afraid of it.
Somehow.
So Child's Play, what I really loved about the remake is that they legitimately make you like Chucky at first. He's a warm character, like because he's not just a killer possessing a doll. He's
an AI.
He's an AI that was abused and like is broken, so nobody wants him. So he's taken in, and he's not evil. He's just broken. And he's trying his hardest to be friends with Andy, and he just screws up a lot because he's not normal. And then by the end of the movie, his jealousy and what happens to him, because he gets tortured basically, turns him so evil that you kind of, at the end, he's a monster by the end of it, and he changes. He goes from the meek Andy to just like, full on maniacal laughter.
So they went Carrie with it.
Dude, it was awesome. I really liked the Child's Play remake, and I was so surprised I liked it that much.
I don't know if I got to talk to you about I'm sure we talked about like in the group chat, but like not in depth. What did you think of the Halloween remake?
Like the new one?
Not the remake, but the newest one where it's the sequel, where
they retcon.
It's a sequel to one.
Yeah, nothing other than one has happened.
So it's the real Halloween 2.
Yeah.
I loved it. The theatrical release pissed me off in the first 30 minutes. In the theatrical release, his first on-screen kill is a kid. 11, 12-year-old.
The guy the kid in the truck.
In the truck, yeah. He actually kills him on screen. The DVD release and Blu-ray release, it wasn't on there from what I could tell.
Why does that?
What is a DVD? I know, but explain it to
better call Mandy.
Happy birthday, Mandy.
Happy birthday, Mandy.
Happy birthday.
Birthday. Anyway, so there's like an unspoken rule in horror that you don't mess with kids. Like
Fuck that.
That's a stupid rule.
Dude, it goes back, and I'm like purist 80s horror. And it's just it's that rule.
He's not wrong. So and I don't mean to cut you off, but I would want to point out that in almost every horror movie and most movies that use kids as a tool, Roger Ebert always gave them almost negative stars because he hated using children as plot devices when they're in danger. He said you should never have kids in danger, and I was like, why? Why do kids get a free pass? Like that never made sense to me.
Yeah, because they don't extend that to animals or old people,
Yeah.
or
Right.
like.
No, animals are still kind of iffy.
Well, you can't really kill an animal.
Okay, so if
they're also not really killing the children, so
No. I don't know, it's hard to describe.
Yeah, you're outnumbered.
It's fine. This is my opinion. Like, even if he had suggested, like, if it was just off screen and someone suggested that he had killed the kid, you don't see anything, I would have felt better about that. But on screen, killing the kid.
See, but even like the idea that Michael Myers, who is this unredeemable killing machine, but has a soft spot for children. Like, get out of here. I get that you're saying, like, imply that he killed the kid.
Okay, but wasn't that always a thing? Was that Michael Myers sympathized with children because he was
in his
damaged?
mind, he was a child. So
yeah.
He was still that 10-year-old boy.
That doesn't mean he wouldn't just kill other kids.
But, like,
he only cared. He was obsessed with Laurie.
There was a part.
And all these other people that he perceived as getting in his way of her.
Laurie, yeah.
There was a part later in the film where he hides in the girl's house or whatever, and there's a kid.
She's a babysitter.
And he doesn't kill the kid. He leaves the kid alone, but kills the babysitter, which was also the prettiest girl in the movie.
Also,
Thank you,
that kid,
Michael Myers.
That kid is
fight me.
That kid is the smartest person in that
got
entire
the
movie.
Hell out.
Yeah.
Because what do you expect us to do? Cancel Halloween? Yeah, dude. Like, of course, yes.
Don't be it's my favorite.
What is wrong with you?
It's my favorite joke from the new Ghostbusters remake is don't be like the mayor from Jaws. Same thing. You think we're gonna cancel the beach because of some shark is murdering people? That's tourist season.
It's totally unsafe to get in the water. My two biggest problems with the movie were all of the characters were idiots except for that kid. Literally every decision that was made by an adult character was empirically bafflingly stupid.
Even Laurie? Because I don't remember.
Aside from Laurie. Like Laurie and the kid and Michael are really the only people that made any sort of rational decisions in any conceivable way.
Agreed. The husband was he was so dumb he walked outside.
Yeah. And then the ending. I hated the ending.
Same.
Really? No.
Yeah.
No, same.
If this would have just been because it just goes to the thing that like everything now has to be a franchise.
Yep.
And has been for like the last 15 years of movies. And so, well, we've already gotten one franchise out of it. Why? All right. Well, now we can get a sequel out of it. And it's like, no, just you had a chance to be like, all right.
This is the Redeemer.
We let this franchise get so away from us that now we are completely acting like everything. I'm talking to you, Terminator. Like everything that happened before this didn't count.
Ah, shit.
So now you can just tell this like really nice story, put a bow on it. Here we go. And then move on to whatever the next thing
At least with Terminator, thanks to time travel,
No.
there can be alternate timelines.
Nope.
Because Terminator Dark Fate is a direct sequel to Terminator 2, and they said that the events of Terminator 3 and Salvation and Genesis did happen, but they're in an alternate timeline because they've messed with the time so much that none of it actually happened. By the way, did you know, because I didn't know, Edward Furlong is in this movie. And I did not know that.
Is that the new one that's coming out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Edward Furlong played John Connor in the original Terminator 2. So they have all the original actors from Terminator 2 back, except for Robert Patrick, obviously.
That's pretty awesome.
Would you also believe that the moment Edward Furlong walked out on the San Diego Comic-Con panel to announce he was back in the film as John Connor, which, by the way, he looks rough. He's had a rough time. Immediately, the stories were all about his domestic abuse charges. And now everyone's like, well, F this movie because they rehired this clearly troubled person. And I'm like, oh, that's the last thing the Terminator franchise needs is like controversy on top of the fact that no one's going to go see it in the first place.
I have Terminator downloading right now on my Xbox for Mortal Kombat. He came out today for his, if you have the like premium pack or whatever.
I do have that. I don't have to reinstall it because I want to play as Terminator. The Terminator is one of my favorite franchises.
I'm probably gonna knock out I'll do the story mode tonight.
Oh God, the voice they got for like I guess he's trying to do Arnold and he's not terrible.
Someone on Reddit posted a very specific clip from Terminator 2, and you can kind of tell that it's like okay, no, it's from this particular scene. They're basing just the entire character on.
Also, did you notice that in that trailer, he never once said, I'll be back?
I don't know. I mean, if you don't have Arnold saying it.
That's such a trademark. Like, that's such an iconic phrase now that it's in everything. It's even in the Dark Fate trailer.
It's got to be in, like, an exit or something.
It has to be.
There has to be a line where he says
I know
it.
we're getting off topic here, and we're going to get back to horror in a second, but I just have to talk about it because you opened the wormhole. The wormhole? Can of worms. Whatever. His fatality, where he puts you in the future... That's awesome. That is so cool.
His other fatality,
I haven't seen.
His other fatality is very disappointing.
I heard it involves a motorcycle.
Yeah. So he's on the motorcycle. He like does the tail whip.
Yeah.
And it sends the person flying like an uppercut. And then he pulls out a shotgun and shoots them in the chest. And then their like torso explodes. So then it's just the like arms and legs and head are scattered out. And it's just so underwhelming.
That seems, especially compared to the other one.
Even the motorcycle hit, like. You would think there would show some sort of like damage or something.
I do love the fact that I don't know if it's a move you do or if you just take enough damage or whatever that the skin comes off and he becomes the T-800.
I haven't done any research on it, but it looks like that's like the did you play Jason in Mortal Kombat X ever? So remember because in X it was you had the 3 set styles you could play as per character, and Jason had I think it was like the undead one where when you lost the round, as long as you had a certain number of meter available you would pop back up.
Yeah, I remember that.
So I think that's what this is, because Devora has something similar where it's like it takes up 2 ability slots,
except this one's it's not as cool as this one.
When she dies, a like small bug bursts out of her body and then you can like fly around the screen to still continue the fight, whereas this one it's Arnold goes down and
skin melts off.
The skin melts off, and he comes up as the exoskeleton, or the endoskeleton, and then it also looks like he has super armor.
Yeah,
so he doesn't get staggered. You can't like Sub-Zero can't freeze him. Scorpion can't.
Well, that's a cheat code.
I think
it's temporary.
It's got to be temporary.
Because Jade has the same thing, doesn't she? Except you can knock it out of her.
No, hers is just projectiles don't hurt her.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay.
Super armor is like what will happen if you like in certain moves, if you get hit, like if you were in the middle of doing a move, but someone catches you with something, you still take that damage, but you don't flinch. And there's no like reaction. And there's no, and like the status effects don't apply to it. Right. So, but like I said, but it would only be for a couple seconds, like 5 seconds after the revive. Otherwise, it would be like that would just be broken.
Yeah.
But then you also only get like you probably maybe only get up to where your fatal blow is triggered amount of health.
I'm excited for that, and I'm also excited about Terminator Dark Fate, which Terminator's always been a good sci-fi horror film. The first one, and then they went the Aliens route with it, where Alien was a legitimate horror film. Terminator was kind of a horror film. It was in the way they did it, and then Terminator 2 and Aliens were both just full out action movies, and then the series just got weird. Both of them.
Well, I thought Alien 2 was more of a haunted house movie, I thought.
No, that's the first one.
That's the first one?
Because the first Alien is...
It's only the one alien stalking... They're trapped on the ship.
Right,
whereas Aliens is like the entire army's going against an army of them.
So I'm going to be completely honest here, because I just kind of gave it away.
Careful.
It's not that I dislike it. I haven't watched Aliens or Alien.
In a long time or at all? Because that could depend on how many times I stab you.
Long time.
I tried to show Allie Alien. She fell asleep. But to be fair, that's like a 7-hour movie because I watched the director's cut. So
now, like Predator, at all?
She fell asleep. What?
At all? I
have you seen any of them? What about the best one? The one with Adrian Brody?
What slurs can I get away with?
None.
Anyone that applies to white people.
You cracker jack. Have you never seen Predator?
I haven't. I don't know. I can't. There's no reason I can give you other than I've had no interest.
How?
All the heat off of me.
He really did. She fell asleep the first time I tried to show it to her. Predator.
I'm sure I would have too.
It's one of the best movies of all time. It's one of the best.
Oh,
it's one of the best horror sci-fi action movies of the 80s.
See, there you go. That's the more accurate.
It's super iconic. It starts like every other. You know what would have made that movie better, legitimately, and everyone said it before, and I'm just going to repeat the process, is in the very first minute of the movie, they show the Predator ship. Ruined it. Because the next 40 minutes is them in the jungle up against an enemy they don't know. And if you didn't already know that it was a predator, an alien, it would have been so much better. But other than that, my God. I mean, Carl Weathers, Jesse Ventura, body mass alone. That's a different Predator.
I like that movie.
I did too.
I enjoyed it.
I liked Topher Grace in that movie.
He was really good in that
He was the best part of that movie.
Yeah, that's fair.
The worst part was Lawrence Fishburne. It's crazy ass. Who showed up briefly. And then the fight between the Yakuza member and the Predator, and that was kind of cool but stupid. Anyway.
Yeah, no, I like to sit down and read the stories, like read about the history of the franchise, like, you know, and story.
Yeah.
Story.
Just watch the movie.
It's like Alien. Like I can sit down and watch Alien again, but
what? I'm sorry. Like
no.
Separate thought, because going back to Terminator, because so he's in Mortal Kombat today. Wasn't there a Terminator skin coming to Gears of War?
Already there?
It is already
but
there?
It's not Arnold. It's just the endoskeleton.
Yeah, it's just the...
And almost said Linda Hamilton as Sarah Connor.
Wasn't there another game that was also getting something Terminator? Because I feel like with...
Yeah, Terminator's all over the place.
It wasn't E3, but like one of the major, like whatever the last big like gaming event was, and it was like every game had some sort of Terminator.
That was kind of the end joke, was that. And like, I'm surprised they didn't bring him back for WWE, because Arnold was a character in WWE in 15, which Dalton
sure
was here.
Oh yeah, because we remember that WrestleMania when Triple H came out all
decked out as the Terminator. I thought that was one of his coolest intros.
It was
kind of
cool.
Care what anyone says. I think that's fine. I'm really hyped for this Terminator movie. I liked Genesis. I
did too.
I thought Genesis was a fine movie, but again, part of the problem with Genesis was they spoiled the turn in the trailer, which is just baffling. That's why whenever they were putting out Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows, I didn't watch any of the trailers, because they put out 50 trailers for that film, and I'm pretty sure you could piece together the entire movie based on the trailers. Very, very disappointing.
I have stopped watching movie trailers. Like, I'll watch the initial one.
Yeah. But then they put out too many.
And then I stop.
I'm not going to even start on this topic, because anyone who's listening to this and has listened to Nerd Up knows that I get angry.
Yeah. So like,
so how do you feel about the time travel in Terminator?
I don't want to break your heart.
Is this okay? Is the time travel in Terminator okay because it's not?
No, because it's gotten so fucked up. They had to completely go into the it's alternate timelines. And,
it was fucked up to begin with. And Tanner, I'm gonna get to your point in 1 second, but I have a quiz for Allie. Allie, what was the? No, you don't know. I think she only watched Terminator 1 and half of Terminator 2. Did you see Genesis with us?
No.
Okay. So the original Terminator, they send the Terminator back in time to stop John Connor from being born, because John Connor will lead the resistance against the machines in the future.
Yes.
They send back Kyle Reese to stop the Terminator from killing Sarah Connor, who was going to give birth to John Connor. Kyle Reese got Sarah Connor pregnant with John Connor. And at the end of the film, the Terminator is killed, but he leaves behind his arm. Terminator 2, the arm is how they created Skynet, which is what led to the revolt of the machines. So if they hadn't sent Kyle Reese back to stop the Terminator, he wouldn't have gotten her pregnant. Then she never would have gave birth to John Connor, which is how the Terminator sent someone back to stop, which in turn created Skynet. Which created Terminator. All right, I'm done, Asa. Asa, I'm stopping. Oh my God.
I got a headache.
But when did the ghost get her pregnant?
No. Well, technically Kyle Reese, because he was dead. Oh my God.
Because he was dead.
I still love the film, though. It's a good movie. Oh my God. iconic. So now they're
You
completely.
don't think about it. It's a good movie.
Well, I never thought about it as a kid. I just thought it was cool.
Honestly,
Because
like,
the endoskeletons look badass.
was it the T-1000 from 2?
the Robert Patrick character, the liquid metal one?
Yeah. Is he the T-1000?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Still, to this day, one of the greatest movie villains ever.
Oh yeah.
Like, you're right when they say that they moved the franchise to more action from horror, but like, holy crap. Like, he was legitimately...
He was scary.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's like, no, there is nothing you can do. Any crack, anything, he can
The
get through and get there.
the part of and I'll get right to you. The part of the film where they had the two brothers who he was a security guard, and then he turned into him, but they were actually two brothers because they were also in Gremlins. I don't know if you remember that. But then the one just stabs him through the eye, and like that scared me as a kid. That was legitimately scary.
So I mean, his character in that movie led to it's in so many other different.
It's iconic.
It's iconic, especially
I'll
the
be
scene
back.
Well, no, I'm talking about the T-1000.
Oh no, I'm just saying like it just there's so many iconic
Yeah,
things
yeah.
from Terminator.
But like,
Yeah.
how many times have you seen in a movie where the guy reaches down and says, "Have you seen this kid? Have you seen this boy?" We've used it. It
With-
was
with
in
Jordan.
Yeah, it was in Wayne's World.
we used it with Dexter Roswell too.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, we did. Yeah.
Yeah. And the franchise went from that to Terminator 3, which I thought was a good movie. But think about it. The first Terminator, you had Arnold Schwarzenegger cutting his arm off or cutting his eye out because he was damaged. In Terminator 2, you had liquid metal and stabbing people in the face. Terminator 3, you had Kristanna Loken getting pulled over by a cop, looking up at a billboard of a girl with large breasts and inflating her breasts to get out of the ticket. That's where the franchise went.
Yes, it did.
And you know who was supposed to be in that originally?
Who's that?
Legit, China.
Really?
China was supposed to be the Terminatrix at first, but they wanted someone with more sex appeal, which sounds terrible. So they got Kristanna Loken instead. I think China would have been a much better Terminator.
Yeah.
That would have been awesome.
Yeah. She doesn't even have to act. Arnold couldn't fucking act in the first one.
But he didn't need to.
He didn't need to.
A cold, emotionless killing machine.
He was perfect for that role.
Him trying to smile
In Terminator 2?
2. Yeah, just
There's a similar scene in Child's Play where he's trying to he's trying to get Chucky to freak out his mom's boyfriend. So he's like, all right, like smile real big. And there's just this series of Chucky like trying to smile. And Allie's face says it all. It was alarming because that doll is so creepy doll-like. Like it looks so synthetic and fake that it's scarier.
was it CGI or was it practical?
Practical.
Okay.
Like it was legitimately, it was scary.
I'm not gonna lie, like I've always wondered, and I get like those productions, like it's you're filming and it looks like it's in this like super dark room and it's all scary. When in reality, there's a million people around, like everything's super crazy lit, you know, behind you and all that. But like the idea of like, all right, so the premise of this movie is we have this thing that comes to life and kills a bunch of people. Okay, and then it's just like sitting there, just like watching you,
You know, now I'm thinking about
little
it.
monster.
The way he talks about that, maybe that's what brought more feeling to like the Paranormal Activity movie, the first one, because apparently while they were filming that, like they had their lines and they knew what they were supposed to be laying down, but like the scares in the movie, they had no clue about that. That was literally like they'd just be laying in bed, filming a sleeping scene, and all of a sudden, something would happen.
I thought
They also
made that-
didn't have any scares in that movie.
Sir.
I love that movie, but like it's
No, it's
never
a bunch of
scary.
like random loud noises. It's the reason that I love that movie, and like we talked about this on the previous like every other October, of just like I love it's the build because it is that kind of uncertainty of like when something's gonna happen.
Yeah.
As opposed to the blatant jump scares.
I hate jump scares.
Which because like in this movie that's what they are, but they feel more earned
Yeah.
than like a slasher movie. And same thing with just like I don't like movies that just go super all out in gore. Like I got
do.
no problem with Michael Myers doing a not crazy brutal, but he does kill the kid, and you see it happen. But I hate the ones where it's like the Evil Dead remake, the little bit that I saw when you had that on. Just like some of it was just like really, or like what's the Saw franchise turned into?
Yeah,
Yeah.
But see, I like gore. I like gore when it's a monster movie. When they're like, we watched one the other day, not a good movie, but it's one of my favorites when I was a kid. It's called Waxwork, and not a good movie. Do you remember Waxwork? Where it's like they go to a waxwork, and whenever they step into the display, they get like teleported to that world. And there's one with a werewolf, and the werewolf grabs the guy by the head, like on the top of the head, and just pulls him apart. And I remember just like, it's an 80s movie. Like, that's badass for an 80s movie. Like, I love gore when it's done well. Silent Hill, when the Pyramid Head peels the girl's skin off. Did you see Silent Hill? There's a part where they're going to this church because it's the only safe place in the town, and there's the crazy religious woman who's sitting outside telling them, they're all, this is your fault or whatever. And Pyramid Head, you know what Pyramid Head is, don't you?
Yeah.
You've seen him. He just walks up and grabs her, and as they run, he grabs her like skin. He rips her clothes off, and then he grabs her by like the skin and just rips her skin off, like peels it off of her and throws the skin at him. That was cool.
And I say that having just talked about how cool Mortal Kombat is,
Oh,
but
yeah.
it's like, but there's a difference between like it's in a game, like it's
Versus a movie.
and whereas like that's quote unquote like real life, like live action versus totally like totally digital.
Bring kids back into it, because do you remember the end of Silent Hill, where they have the bad woman is killed and she's up, like she's got barbed wire wrapped around her, and they lift her up. And then the barbed wire starts going inside of her in places and tears through her. And as it's cutting her to pieces, blood's pouring down. And then the little girl from the movie's like down there, like dancing in the rain of blood. Yeah. Silent Hill is actually a legitimate horror film for anyone that's never seen it.
So, like, I'm fine with gore as long as it's going to sound weird, as long as it's appropriate. Like, I don't want you overdoing it. And, like, some people would probably think anything, what?
Go ahead. I want to bring up something in a second. I'm tired of interrupting you.
Oh, yeah.
So I want you to finish your story.
So, anything Evil Dead, anything with Ash Williams in it, is usually, people probably think it's a little overdone.
The first one was.
Yeah, well,
Holy
I mean,
shit.
okay, so let's think about it. He goes after a deadite with a chainsaw. That blood spray you get from that chainsaw is probably appropriate. That's probably realistic.
And
I want the gore to be realistic.
I'm talking about the remake from Evil Dead.
I haven't actually got to see it.
I laughed at it. Not
What
gonna
the
lie.
fuck?
It does not
You
have.
watch horror films?
It does not have Bruce Campbell in it.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, at the very end.
Okay. Hey, have you seen Ash vs. the Evil Dead?
I have every episode.
Son of a bitch.
I own every episode on DVD.
I need to watch the rest of it, because I didn't get to finish it because they were not interested
I'll
in
let
it.
you borrow. It is great until the last 5 minutes.
I've seen the ending.
Oh no!
Yeah.
So you know then.
I do know.
Okay.
There's a movie. Oh, by the way, the first Evil Dead is the one I had a problem with, because like Evil Dead 2, the gore was funny. Like he cuts off his own arm, his hand with a chainsaw because it's turned, right? Then he puts a paper basket on it and puts a book on it to keep it down, and the book is A Farewell to Arms. That's funny.
That's funny.
That's comedy. But the first Evil Dead, one, you have the tree rape scene,
Yeah.
which is
Also in the remake.
Yes, it is.
worse
Yeah.
worse than the original. Like, it was legitimate rape. It wasn't even implied. And then the worst scene I think I've ever seen in a horror movie that makes me cringe every time, the pencil to the to the, I don't know what you would call it, like right here,
The Achilles tendon?
No.
but to the side.
To
It's like
the
the side,
ankle bone?
yeah,
Oh, okay.
and just stabs in, and you see blood squirt out, and like
Yeah.
to this day that makes me go ew. There was a movie, I used to know a guy named John when I worked at Stephen Barry's, and he told me, you have to see this film. I don't remember what it's called now, and I wish I did. I think it's called The Janitor, maybe, but it was about a killer janitor, right? So he's like, you have to see this movie. All right, I
Feels too
rented it.
real.
So the guy, he's a psycho killer and he's a janitor. There's a part where he goes to this like frat party. You talk about gore being over the top. He goes to the frat party. He sneaks in through like a top window where one of the girls is having sex with two guys, and they're both like fucking her from behind somehow. I guess in either in the same hole or in two different holes, whatever.
A
So
logistics problem at some point there.
the janitor, he gets in the room and they're like dude bros, and they're holding, like they're hugging kind of while they're doing it. So they're like arm around each other, and they look at the janitor who they don't know and they say, hole up front, dude. So he grabs one by the dick and squeezes it so hard, and they show it, and it's clearly like a banana colored like a dick, and he squeezes it, and it's, if you imagine what it's like when you squeeze a banana, it's that. And the guy goes like, "Oh, you're a dick." That's what he says. So,
What year was this movie made?
late
We
90s.
need to see if there's a bad movies review of this.
Oh shit! Oh, we need to get that for fucking Halloween and show people the janitor. I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm trying to.
Why? What about Pieces? My coworker told me about this movie. Apparently, one of the kill scenes is the guy's just holding this girl in a pool with like the netting you use to clean a pool, like just holding her in with it, and it's like, just swim anywhere else. Just
Yep.
do something.
I found it, Asa.
I also found it 2003.
Yep.
Tired of being disrespected, a janitor decides to kill all his coworkers.
Yep. That's it.
Do you also have the people also search for?
No.
And it's The Lion King, Toy Story 4, Spider-Man Far From Home, and Avengers Endgame.
Also, this movie...
Because again, I'm going to verify this. And it's the janitor.
Yep.
And then, don't scroll too down. And, there's the Lion King, number one.
How does this movie have a 5.7 rating out of 10? Holy shit. So the guy that starred in the movie, the main guy, is Andy Senior. The guy that we talked about who created Screen Junkies, the one that got the accusations against him and left for a long time and then just recently came back. This is the same guy. I did not know that. Well, now I have a reason to hate him. Because that movie is awful. And it's awful in that just great way, like Birdemic and this is don't you fucking forget
Cuddle of Chud or
Puddle of Chud.
Puddle of Chud.
Where they said
so it's not just Puddle of Mud.
I'll give you $200 to stop making music.
Yeah.
So we're trying to get our Halloween movie figured out for this year. And every year I try to pick a good horror movie no one's seen to watch. Last year I picked Tales from the Hood 2 and instantly regretted it. And I was really sad about that because Asa and Audra were here for it. And I was really confident.
The last one.
What's that?
The last story.
It was okay, but they left before that.
I know.
They walked. They left halfway through it, and I didn't blame them.
Yeah,
because it was not because I built the first one up so much because the first one is so good,
Yeah.
and the second one is so bad. So this year I thought about going the opposite way and finding the worst horror movie I could that we can all just laugh at.
Well, it won't take us that long, but yeah, those Huluween. I only watched the one still.
Which one did you watch?
The Ripper.
Oh,
the
was
one,
that the band?
The
one?
band, yeah.
Yeah.
And we were watching it, and like halfway through, Audra was just like, "This is bad." And
Yeah.
I was like, I know, but it's only 6 minutes.
Let's finish.
I
it.
have to at least see what happens.
Well, if you're gonna watch little shorts like that, just watch Creep Show, like what we just watched.
No,
earlier
we're looking for bad ones. Creep Show's good.
Yeah, it was really good.
I would see, and I would much rather watch like good horror.
Dalton
Yeah.
could not handle it. The first one he was okay on. The second one I think actually unsettled him. It's about a girl who has a dollhouse, and one day when she's looking at her doll, she's like named all the people in the family and stuff. She looks in
Smiths.
the Smiths. She finds a severed head. It looks like a little zombie head, and she's like, "You don't belong in there. What are you doing there?" And as the story progresses, every time she comes back, the little toys are in different positions. Like at one point, they're like staring in a corner at something, and another one they're all praying together. And she's like, "What is going on?" I won't spoil anything, but Dalton at the end got up and went behind the counter. Was like, "No, I'm not going to sit there. I'm not going to sit there and watch it." That's pretty funny. I love scaring Dalton.
That's not the one that had Trick or Tweet.
No, that's Tales from Halloween. I haven't
okay.
watched it yet this year, but I am because that's one of my favorites. That and Trick or Treat.
Trick or
Okay.
Treat is fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm so like I finally got to watch. I think I watched that here for the first time because it's one that I'd heard really good things about. And I really, really wanted to see.
Yeah. Didn't disappoint.
No, it was so good.
Yeah.
So has anybody but us seen the new Blair Witch?
I haven't seen it.
I don't think my face has seen it.
That's one we could watch. I mean, that was a really good
Yeah,
film.
but I want one none of us have seen. Like I always look for the deep
Good
cut.
luck.
Well, apparently for you, it could just be any movie. I gotta look. Have you heard of this one movie?
Scream.
It about a killer clown from outer space.
Killer Clown.
It really is a killer clown from outer space.
Oh, someone got ripped off.
What if you put that movie in the DVD and all of a sudden it is just the 90s.
That
Did you see
terrible.
Tim
Curry.
Tim Curry pops up. What the hell?
I was looking up about it today, and it reminded me that there was an orgy child scene in the book,
Yeah.
and I forgot about that.
Stephen
again.
King is like
He
he's
was
a great.
coked out of
He's
his mind.
great,
Wacko.
but
Yeah.
he's nuts.
He's coked out of his mind.
Did what was the? I feel because 2 is coming. It's already out, like in out of theaters, isn't it?
No, it's
No,
still
it's
in.
still
Jesse
in.
Jesse was mistaken on his date because Best Buy, I think, gave the wrong date or something.
Okay. Well, no, like, and I wasn't even talking about that. Just like because I feel like so when It Chapter 1 hit, like people would not shut up about it.
Yeah.
Like that was the greatest horror movie to ever happen. Like people loved it, and I feel like with 2 coming out, like there was a lot of build up, and like the trailer was everywhere. But like once it actually landed, I feel like I didn't really hear that much.
There's
about
a
it.
reason.
It wasn't as good.
It wasn't as good.
It was still good.
It was
wasn't
great.
as
It's still a good movie, but
It had some good parts, and we've mentioned it
But
before.
Tanner, they killed the kid.
And they showed it too.
wait, which one?
They ripped his arm off.
I was
in the
gonna say,
first
That's
I've
not
seen-
killing him though. He didn't die. No, he did.
So they ripped his arm off, and then whenever they actually killed him, he was in the sewer.
Yes, you didn't actually see the death.
So
Now, to be fair,
You saw something that would have eventually killed him
to be fair,
if he didn't end up in
they
the
did kill a kid in the movie, and I think I've gotten less sensitive to it now.
Well, is there an age? Like if he's 15 versus what's the age of killing consent?
13 and under.
So 13 and under, you're disturbed by, but if he's
Yes.
14, fuck that kid.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know it's weird. I understand this. I understand I am weird about this.
Wait,
So
did
it
you
has
like
to
Trick or
do-
Treat?
I have. Did I? No, I watched
With
it
Sam
here.
Hain?
Yeah.
Because there's that one with the kids in the bus where they kill all the kids. Remember that one?
Mm-mm.
Anybody remember that one? Where they take the witch.
I just don't remember if I don't remember if they showed it.
They
or if
didn't.
it was
Well, the monsters grabbed him in the end. I don't know if it because she got in the elevator and went back up, and you
Yeah.
just hear the kids screaming.
Yeah.
So I guess it's implied.
yeah. The but so it chapter 2 just wasn't as good.
The best part of the movie, and this isn't. I mean, I'm not going into a spoiler.
Just say
or
a
anything.
name.
No, it's not even a name. I
Oh,
think
because the best part of the movie is a
Bill
name. It's
Hader.
it's Paul Bunyan.
Yeah, I don't.
Do you not remember this part?
I don't understand that reference.
So
Oh yes.
okay,
Yeah.
it's the only part of the
No,
movie
that
that
was-
actually like freaked me out.
Yeah, it was
Paul
freaky.
Bunyan. Yeah,
But
you'll know when you see it, Asa Gray.
yeah, it.
That was my spooky voice.
The best part of the movie for me was the casting decisions, with the
Yeah.
exception.
Uh-oh, as Bill Skarsgård.
No,
Oh, he's great.
no. Look, I'm telling you right now, I didn't realize it, but Bill Hader is the perfect grown-up.
Richie.
No, well, yeah, but like, what's his
Finn.
Finn?
Oh, Finn Wolfhard.
Wolfhard, yeah, he is the perfect grown-up version of him. No, in this movie, he is the perfect grown-up version of him.
Danny Sexbang.
He like looks wise. He's not. I don't think he's as close as the person they got to play Stanley.
Well,
Okay, I'll get yes.
yeah, they all
That
looked,
was creepy
They
as
all
well.
looked very similar to who they were
Yeah.
representing. But at least with Bill Hader, it makes sense because when he sees them, the first thing he says is, "You guys look great. What the fuck happened to me?" So
Now,
I do have a question for you guys after the show though,
Okay.
because it's a spoiler.
I'll say it
but-
now.
No.
Okay.
so anyway, now the one issue I had with casting was I don't know the girl's name.
Jessica Chastain?
Yeah.
You watch your fucking mouth right now.
I love her. I love her. But compared to the girl they had play her as a child and that character's character, I didn't think she pulled it off.
I thought she was
I
fine.
thought she did fine.
But most of them didn't really have much to do other than Bill Hader. Like even
Yeah.
James McAvoy was just kind of there.
He was just there, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, as the movie got progressed towards the end, he was more.
He had more to do. But Bill Hader stole the show. When Bill Hader is on
Hader-
screen, when Bill Hader's not on the screen, everyone should be asking,
Where's
"Where's Bill
Hader?
Hader?"
Have you seen Barry?
No, but I've heard it's good.
I was gonna say like that's one of the shows that I really really want to watch because I think it just won Emmys. Oh, I'm totally blanking on the Fonz's real name. Henry Winkler.
Yeah.
He's in it and apparently is like amazing, which that's not a shocker.
I love the meme that always goes around about Henry Winkler being like a Republican when he's
when
a
it's-
staunch Democrat.
Yeah. Seeing his like one man show style Comic-Con panel at Planet Comic-Con this past like whenever we went, he is like the most wholesome human being
Yeah.
like ever.
Apparently, him and Tom Hanks, who is also probably the most wholesome human being ever, like at war
Are
with each
you
other.
wiggling your leg constantly?
That's me.
Okay.
I
Because like my screen's shaking and this is rattling and it's making me nervous.
that's my bad. I get
That was completely off.
my leg goes jittery.
It's not. It was constantly going like. Like I heard skittering.
Oh,
I
okay.
thought you were playing with it. I was like, what's happening? No, now I will say what the funniest part of it, chapter 2 was,
Bill Hader.
besides Bill Hader
Bill Hader and the dog.
and Chastain was actually in the scene. The old lady in the house.
That was funny to you.
That was hilarious.
I thought that was actually better than the trailers made it seem.
Yeah.
Oh, because even watching the trailer, like I was like,
No,
because
look.
we give Dalton and Cody a hard time for like not liking horror stuff, but I am also like, I'm probably like if Dalton and Cody are like top tier, I'm B tier easily.
Of being afraid of horror films.
Yeah, with stuff that gets me because I'm jumpy. Like I mean, you just commented like I'm jittery. Like when we talk about going to like the drag racing down Broadway,
Jesus.
like going to jump scares get me all the time
Yeah.
because I'm a super just flinchy person.
Well,
in
and that's
general.
what they're designed to do is to
Also,
shock.
Yeah. Well, and all but like super like I will
I
will do full on like out of my seat.
I do remember an episode of the podcast where I wasn't here, and you swear to God I was in the back waiting to hide.
Oh yeah,
I
'cause
remember that.
you were making the joke about because you had the Jason mask and everything.
And then we tried to do it, and fucking the mirror like just blast me. I come around the corner, he goes, "Oh hey, Tanner." I'm like, "What?" He goes, "I seen you in the mirror." I'm like, "Oh man." The night we went ghost hunting in the
If
cemetery.
only you were a vampire.
I know, right? But no, the scene with the old lady, while creepy, very creepy, it was funny. This is the way she would gyrate going through the door.
I get that way at horror movies too. That's why I laughed at the Evil Dead remake, and I laughed at the one part in Channel Zero.
That's another one I really want to watch.
Which part in Channel Zero?
I think it was in the last season when he was running after them and he had like a broken.
Oh, the
leg.
clown guy.
No, it was like the actual person. The brother. The last one had to do with the door, right? The dream door.
Yeah.
does
So you're
not
not talking
remember.
about the clown guy.
No, I'm talking about the actual human.
I don't remember it.
Well, he
'cause it
was
kind of
like
forgetful for
he
me.
was running at them and his leg was injured and it was funny to me. I just love. There's things that make me laugh during horror movies.
Well, you also like don't register, like you don't feel fear.
No, I'm able to separate what I am watching from reality.
Except
What's the fun in that?
Except when we watched Friday the 13th because she jumped at Friday the 13th.
I don't remember that.
You did. You did. It's the only thing I've ever seen you jump at.
Allie has
I
no
don't
recollection.
Well,
of
that and when she played VR, because VR will
'Cause
scare
that
anybody.
is a lot harder to separate yourself from.
Yeah, VR horror games
Because you're in it.
are impossible for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and just say, "Oh, fuck you."
Uh,
Like, because no, that's not a thing that.
Could you imagine if they had made it PT
Stop talking. Because like no.
you don't have to imagine it. I have it.
on VR?
Yeah, I've been saving it for Halloween.
Oh,
For Dalton.
hey Asa.
Yeah, no.
No.
See,
We have
here-
a new
'cause-
victim. We have a new victim, Abigail.
Oh, Abigail.
Because
Yeah.
Yeah.
here's the thing. It would make hilarious content, and I'm sure people would love to see it. But I don't love any of you near enough to do that. So
Come on, Dalton did it.
yeah, because Dalton is weak-willed
Oh,
Yes.
That's why he did it and quit.
and almost yanked the system out the wall, like in the
Seriously.
process.
No, Abby is apparently terrified of
yeah,
everything.
I forgot about talking about this earlier.
So we were just watching Dalton's
my
playthrough,
God.
and she.
Oh, okay, never mind. I thought you were talking about those terrible YouTube videos that were on when I
But
got
before
here.
that, that's how we got on that. Is we were watching the Dalton playthrough that we live casted, and she was getting nervous at just watching Dalton play. And then when I told her about the VR, I saw legitimate fear in her eyes, and I was like, I like this girl, and I want to terrorize this girl.
Have you seen the
You
like
are
hacked?
Demented.
Well, because you're no fun. I hate watching horror movies with Allie because she does one of three things, and you can set your watch to one of them. She either gets on her phone and doesn't pay attention, she falls asleep, or the best case scenario, she just doesn't get scared and stares at it.
I laugh at a moment and people stare at me like I'm weird.
Yeah. So like,
or like whenever we watched the Bone Tomahawk
yeah.
and you were talking about this one thing and you just stared at me during that scene and I did nothing. You were like, "Do you feel anything?"
To be fair though,
It's a
like
movie.
I haven't found anything that actually scared me in forever. The closest thing that scared me, other than just that Paul Bunyan jump, was in Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. There was a part that was like so drawn out that I was so unsettled that it bothered me.
Did you ever find out what that movie was that you talked about last year? It was like the only time that you actually had to turn something off.
Uzumaki.
Oh, you did find out what it was?
Uzumaki.
You can't find it.
Yeah.
Oh, you just can't find it
I can't
again.
find it.
Okay.
It's a Japanese film. They actually have a show coming to Adult Swim. They made an animation based on the manga, and it looks freaky too. But yeah, Uzumaki is the only film I think that I've ever stopped because I watched it by myself, 1 a.m, in the dark, in my trailer, and I got up and I turned it off and I said no. And it's always been the one. And I know now if I watch it, I'll be like, what? Why was I scared of this? Because I was scared of E.T. I couldn't watch E.T. when it came out.
Really?
Oh, I was terrified of E.T. Like
that little thing was terrifying.
Reese's Pieces still fuck you up, huh?
my mom would tell you, like, it scared me so bad that after it came, because it was out on VHS and stuff, because it had been out, obviously, because I was like, what was it, 83? And I was born in 82. So I was functioning. So it had to be like late 80s or early 90s. But someone gave my mom a free copy of it, and I refused it. I made her give it back because I would not watch it. I was so scared of it. And the entire ride home, my mom rode my ass about what a little bitch I was. I made her stop at the store, get out and buy a copy of it to prove to her I was a man and I would watch it. And once I watched it, I was fine. But I was so scared of E.T.
All right, so that's Shannon's. I have one of those as well. Is there something that you were, as a kid, you were irrationally afraid of? Because mine, in a similar vein, was the Gremlins.
Really?
I was terrified of the Gremlins, like the evil ones.
Yeah.
Because, and I remember it, I remember being in I don't remember why or where we were going or anything like that. I just remember being in a hotel room with my mom as a little kid. And I'm in one bed, my mom's in the other, and she's got the TV on. I'm supposed to be asleep, or I was asleep, or whatever. And I wake up, and I don't know if she was watching it or if it was just on in the background or what. But I remember seeing the Gremlins. And I was like half asleep. I don't know. Again, I have no idea how old I was. But just like these evil little green monsters that are just fucking everything and everyone up.
Crazy as shit.
Yeah. I had nightmares that night, and it wasn't until probably like you had it on, I think, or were rewatching it that I would watch that. I watched it. Cause like even up through high school, college, like, oh yeah, no, I've seen Gremlins. It's, yeah, I've seen Gremlins. Like, yeah, it's fine. Cause like, it's still just like there was something. So it wasn't until like, I think I watched it here at the store.
They just released it this week on 4K. I need to pick up the 35th anniversary edition.
I think mine's gonna be a whole lot more embarrassing.
So now I'm fine. But I just, cause like, I know the second one got goofy and weird.
They did.
Well, the first one was pretty goofy and weird at the end.
Yeah,
They really turned into it for the second one.
Oh, hard.
The Key and Peele sketch. I remember seeing that when they
Yeah.
talk about like, what about a
None
Hulk
of
Hogan
this is going to
gremlin?
be actually
Yes.
in the movie. All of it was actually in the movie.
Like a lightning gremlin. Yeah. Oh shit! I don't remember what I was gonna say now.
What was yours, Tanner?
Gremlins. I remember real quick. Gremlins is not a Halloween movie though. It's one of the. It's a Christmas.
movie.
Like I have set Christmas movies, and I love Christmas horror films because there's not a lot of them, surprisingly. But Gremlins is one of my favorites. Nightmare Before Christmas, obviously.
Krampus.
Krampus and
What's one Goldberg's in? Bad Santa?
no,
not
that's what the hell was that?
Santa Claus.
What was that one with
Silent
Spielberg?
Night.
Santa Sleigh.
Santa's
Yeah.
yeah.
And then Tales. What was it? Christmas Horror Story. I really like that.
Okay, so this one came out in 1998, and I should absolutely not have been freaked out by it.
No, you shouldn't have. I
But
can tell you
I
already.
was because like Chucky freaked me out as a kid.
Mhm.
But
What can I guess?
go ahead.
98.
Yeah.
Give me any hint about
Dead
it.
Silence.
Nope.
That was the 2000s.
Tommy Lee Jones.
You're a 2000s.
Tommy Lee Jones.
Kristen Dunst.
Twist.
Phil Hartman.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Tommy Lee Jones. Phil Hartman.
Mm-hmm.
Small Soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sir.
No, I get that.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
it
it freaked me out, dude.
for-
I was really uncomfortable.
For about a month, I kind of like eyed my action figures a little different.
Yeah.
That movie was really about the social.
I understand. I understand.
It had a deep meaning.
I actually love that movie.
No, I love it now.
I loved it then. I don't know if I'd love
That's
it now.
that's what I mean. Like I
Yeah.
loved it when I first saw it. Like I thought that movie was so
no,
cool.
I've gone back and watched it like recently, and I like the
The
movie.
CG doesn't hold up very well.
No, but it was the 90s. What from the 90s that wasn't? No, not even physical. Like actual effects. No, nothing holds up from the 90s.
Tremors, sir.
That's true.
Oh,
Those,
you know,
they were
that's fair.
practical though.
Tremors holds the fuck up.
But they were
Yeah.
practical.
Isn't that what he said? Like even practical
Oh,
stuff.
I thought he said
But
just
that
visual.
was
Hold up.
Tremors was special though. Like
Yeah, it's special because it proves you wrong.
Jurassic Park.
That's another one.
okay,
You just need to take back that statement, sir.
certain budgeted films.
What budget you think Tremors had?
Excuse you, they had Kevin Bacon.
Exactly. Where do you think the budget
Yeah,
went?
Was their budget?
It was Kevin Bacon and Fred Willard. No. Nope. I was getting confused. Fred Willard's a comedian.
Yep.
I don't know what the guy's name is. He was the guy in the movie.
Yeah, I understand.
He was the one that whenever they made part 2 and they couldn't get Kevin Bacon back, they brought him in.
In every other movie.
Nope. He was only in part 2.
It's only part
Was
two.
he?
Part
Yeah.
3, it went to the crazy guy with the guns.
Oh, Cousin Earl from.
No, it started following
Michael Gross.
yeah.
This is the actor's name.
Yeah,
and
Burt.
then Burt.
Burt Ward.
And Burt Ward was Robin.
Oh yeah, Burt.
Just
what
say
was
Burt. Just say Burt.
it? He had a last name though. Like
It doesn't
was
matter what his last name is. You know who his wife was in the first Tremors? Reba McEntire. Yeah. Anyway, every Tremors after that
Who
followed
the
him
hell you
instead.
think you're talking to?
Until, do you know they made a Tremors TV show?
Yes.
I
And
didn't.
It wasn't good.
Kevin Bacon was in it.
Yeah, he
apparently.
was. Sure was.
We're
Wasn't
gonna
good.
do our horror pitches.
Well, first you have to tell us what scared you as a kid. What irrational
You would
thing?
have to ask my mom
I'm asking you.
because I probably, if there was like, I blocked it out. Like I don't know.
Wasn't
Allie
it
was
shirts?
Allie was iron-willed as a child.
Wasn't shirts what scared you, and that's why you always walked around without them?
No.
Because then you have a song.
Okay, will you stop?
Your parents told us the song. There was a song about Allie doesn't like wearing shirts. How'd the song go?
I'm not,
Will Calvin
telling
know
you.
this song?
Probably not. Calvin didn't pay attention. Oh, he does?
Please
Get him on the
don't.
phone.
No.
Do you think that he could get Tom DeLonge to sing this song? Also, Burt Gummer
Gummer.
Was
I
my-
know
was-
that.
Gummer.
Gummer!
was Michael Gross.
Does
That's
that
what they-
not fit the character?
That's what collectively they call the people of Chaffee. Gummers.
Oh, we're getting started early, huh?
Yeah. Well, I've always
This
shit on Chaffee, to be
happens,
fair.
like,
Yeah, I've shit on Chaffee since
a
the
lot.
beginning.
Yeah.
That's still one of my favorite CCW moments of all time.
Jeff Odell
Jeff Odell.
destroying the city of Chaffee in 5 minutes.
the people who tried to like watch the show for free that didn't understand that like all of the ticket prices were going to their city.
Yeah, that was
Ugh,
rough.
That was rough.
That was my first time ever ring announcing. And Asa Gray.
Hey!
And I have plans on doing something similar.
You see, you want to know where this leads you?
Rite of passage. Oh, in a year you'll be the biggest heel manager in
No,
CCW.
thank you.
You'll do it. You'll do it. Allie, what scared you as a kid?
Again, I mean, I blocked it out. You'd have to ask my mother.
I'll go again on one. And not like it didn't really scare me, but it always like kind of freaked me out as a kid. But at my great grandma's house, which I spent like an insane amount, like the majority of my time as a child, I was there. The way her house was laid out is you go through the front door, and if you keep walking, the kitchen is right there. She usually had her kitchen table like directly in front of the walkway there, so you had to go around it. And then there's a hallway that you can see. Again, you see from the front door. Bathroom's on the right, and then her bedroom was at the end of that hallway. And the way her bedroom was laid out, you walk through the door, her dresser is like in front of the door there with like a mirror. But then along the wall on the opposite, like it looks like they're looking at the front door, she had these old school Raggedy Ann, Raggedy Andy dolls.
Oh no,
Annabelle's.
nope.
And just like something about those, just like every,
No, absolutely, yeah.
and it wasn't all the time. It was just there were certain days that like they looked off.
I have a similar one where my mom had a soap dish in our bathroom that was a cherub. It was this little cherub, and there was something about it. I would go to the bathroom, especially at night, and I would like pee or whatever, and I'd look, and it would just be staring at me. There were lots of nights where I had to take a wash rag and cover it because I was so scared of it.
Mm-hmm.
And the moment I was done going to the bathroom, I ran out of the bathroom. And I'm talking like as a teenager. I would run out of the bathroom. I could not stand to look at that cherub. It scared the hell out of me.
My grandparents had their old house, which was torn down now. But as soon as you come in, you'd walk like as soon as you come in the front door, there's the stairs, and you go upstairs. And there's two rooms up there. The one on the right was where my grandfather slept, and if I spent the night, I was in his room.
Mm-hmm.
The room on the left, though, turns out was just used for like storage and stuff. But I was always told not to go in this room as a kid. And like they turned the fear on for it. Like they was like something bad would happen if you go in this room. And I'm telling you, that house stayed in our family up until probably 12 years ago. Like my aunt lived in there, and the entire time she lived there, even after I'm almost an adult, I still would not go anywhere near that room. It gave me the heebie-jeebies.
You know what it was?
What?
Brown recluses.
Probably, yeah.
When I worked at Stephen Barry's, we had a room that we affectionately called the coat room because they didn't have any storage space really for the coats. So you went to this room and it would just be coats laid on the floor everywhere because we had so many jackets. So it was called the coat room. And you didn't go in the coat room because it was filled with spiders. You would pick up a jacket and brown recluses or what looked like brown recluses would just run everywhere. And I would remember telling them like, so we're supposed to sell these whenever we run out of stock out on the floor? That's scary. Maybe that's why they went out of business. 'Cause of all the recluses. All right. We only have a couple minutes left, but we have a couple minutes just in time for Asa has a challenge for Allie.
This is going to take much longer.
Just for Allie. Because
For me?
she's got one.
Well,
I do
because she
have
mentioned
one.
it earlier. So I want to know what her
I
pitch
have
is.
one.
Please. And we'll do it again on the next show, and we'll all do it.
Okay.
But tell her what it is because I want to hear Allie's pitch.
So am I giving the full pitch or just the one from the pre-show?
Give the full one.
So the full one was I want to hear a horror movie pitch like off the top of your head, which now it's ruined. But again,
Yeah.
not necessarily if you have it, if you have time to prepare for it. But it has to be based on something that you're actually afraid of.
Oh, okay. Does that still fit your criteria?
I mean,
Which I told her, I was like,
The-
just lie.
okay.
the
Allie, what's your pitch?
So this is pretty much based off of the artwork that I've done. So it's a horror movie, and it's a kid's teddy bear, and at night, monsters like infest the room. Monster from under the bed, the closet, like pretty stereotypical monsters, and the teddy bear has to fight all of them. But while this is going on, so like that's the nighttime, that's the bigger, more intense times, but you also see a family that seems to be more and more dysfunctional, and all these things happen. And pretty much how it ends is,
Spoilers.
well,
You can give it
I don't have any of this budget. Ends as the bear is almost does not look like the same bear, and it's probably only been a week. Like, this bear is almost completely torn apart. And the kid seems a little off, but mostly fine. Like, if you talk to the kid, it knows nothing of these monsters. But child services comes and takes the kid. Because the monsters are people. I mean,
So the bear's killing people?
The bear isn't killing people, but it's...
The bear's trying to protect the kid from the monsters that come at night, and then it's revealed that
People.
the monsters
it's
that come at night are
like
monsters. It's
But what do they want?
family members.
Oh, okay. So it's like abuse. So.
Yes,
Yeah, I
and
gotcha.
it's different traumas that kids deal
Have
with.
you
That's
seen
kind of like one of my favorite parts of Tales from the Hood with David Allen Greer.
Yeah,
as the
it's,
monster.
It's very
kinda-
similar
yeah.
to that kind of story.
Have you seen the picture, or it's the cartoon of the kid like? It's the kid sleeping with the teddy bear, and then the next panel is it's the teddy bear holding this like little wooden
Yeah.
sword, like shaking it at the
Yeah.
closet.
That was actually something that started inspiring me a long time ago with this type of artwork.
Okay.
I know that the first horror movie I ever do, because I'm planning it and I'm gonna make it. Like, I'm gonna make it, even if it's a low budget Indiegogo thing. It's a werewolf story, but once I've got my first one in and I can just go a little bit crazier with it, there's one that I have about a Wendigo. And it'll be my magnum opus because I have a scene in it that I think may be one of the most cringy scenes in the history of horror films. I'll skip all of the plot and just go to the scene itself. The scene itself is just a little backstory that there's a dad who's there with his family and his daughter's friend. And marriage has fallen apart. They've gone out to the secluded area in the woods to try to have a weekend getaway from everything. Huge snowstorm. They're trapped here. He gets lost out in the woods with this guy who's like kind of trying to help him get over things. He ends up encountering the Wendigo. He becomes possessed by the Wendigo. He goes back. He's sick. They try to go get help for him and food and stuff like that because he's starving. And it turns out that the girl he was cheating on his wife with was his daughter's friend. So she's like, oh, we're alone. They start to go at it. He's just like that hungry passion, just like kissing hard and grabbing hard and all that. And then there's a part where he performs oral sex on her. And as it takes him over, he bites into her vagina and just like rips out.
I will not be watching your film.
To which point she screams out in agony and like he comes up, blood all over his face, chunks, whatever. She's trying to get away. He jumps on her and starts like biting on her back and just ripping flesh off with his teeth. And like, I'm going to have to get a budget for that one. But I think that moment and you won't see it. You'll just see her head back, enjoying it, like, oh, it feels great. And you just see him between her legs and you just hear like this crunch.
So
and
reverse teeth.
Yeah, you hear the sound of teeth gnashing against something and just screams and then the blood. I think it could be an iconic scene. And if you see it in a film before then, they ripped it off from me.
Better TM.
10.
TM. Trademark.
Trademark.
Oh, the trademark? Like John Cena and the trademark? All right, that's
No,
good
you
for us.
just trademark. Before we go, major news hitting.
Is this real or are you messing with
No,
me?
this comes from a reputable news source. In major blow to Sony's upcoming PlayStation 5, Microsoft announces PlayStation 6.
You son of a bitch. I read that article
from The
earlier.
Onion.
I know.
That's huge. Why are you mad?
Shit, you know one thing we actually were going to talk about tonight was Blizzard.
Oh yeah, we didn't end up talking about anything that we talked about in the pre-show. We were going to talk about.
I'm sorry. Point is,
fuck Activision.
Fuck them. Yeah. Now I'm gonna go home
and the NBA.
Now I'm gonna go play World of Warcraft while I'm dribbling a basketball.
Yeah, I didn't want to share my story online. Actually,
I
honestly didn't. I want to tell you guys offline.
What?
The story I'm writing.
Why? Say it out loud.
I don't want to. I'll spoil it. I want to tell you guys, but
no.
Hey, everybody out there, be on the lookout. We're gonna do this. This isn't gonna be a film. It's gonna be like a radio show.
No, I want to make a film.
No. Well, yeah, yours, yeah.
I told Jason from CCW and the podcast, I wanted to step away from all of it because I want to make movies. That's all I've ever really wanted to do is write, and I want to make a film. But, this I can do in an hour, and then it's done, and then everyone likes it. So you tell me who won. All right, we're going to get out of here because about that time. I want to thank you guys for tuning in once again, and don't forget that this Thursday, if you liked our horror talk, every Thursday in October, it's Terrifying Tanner Thursday, or Are You Afraid of Podzilla After Dark? It depends on who's here. But this Thursday, Tanner will be back. Lindsay, unfortunately, will not be here. Will you be here?
Yes, I will.
Okay. So we'll still have a 4-man group to talk about scary things.
Yes.
Tomorrow, Pro Wrestling Unscripted. We got a lot to talk about. You talk about scary. Nothing scary.
Something happened?
Yeah, big news. CM Punk may be a done deal, possibly, as a broadcaster for Fox, but not WWE. Maybe. It's likely, but not exactly, and it could be happening.
Well, yeah, I mean, that sounds like the only thing that we'll probably talk about.
I'm pretty sure.
I absolutely got whiplash from that whole conversation.
And I think they had a pay-per-view?
No.
Survivor
I don't
Series?
think they did.
No, absolutely not. Nope.
Well, we'll try to figure it out. We'll try to figure it out tomorrow on Pro Wrestling Scripted. For myself, for Asa Gray, for Ali Abear and the Big T, Tanner Calvert.
You started calling me the man himself.
The man himself. I forgot about that. You are the man himself.
Just because Dalton showed up and had to steal my thunder.
Yeah, but he shows up weekly.
Yeah. No, this is when I was still here 2 times a week.
Oh. Well, the Big D sounds better because it's from King of the Hill. Rusty Shackelford.
Okay. John Redcorn never strikes out.
Big Bad John.